Hey, how's it going? Today I decided that I wanted to talk about everybody's favorite holiday that happens in February, Groundhog Day. What'd you think I was going to say? Am I qualified to talk about it? Most definitely not. But hey, I'm going to do it anyways. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? It all started back in 1887 when the editor of the Puxatawny Spirit newspaper, Climber Freeze, decided that a groundhog shall determine our weather. The actual idea of it comes from an old Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that follows the same idea, that if a groundhog sees its shadow while exiting its burrow, it will then run back into said burrow, and winter will reign for 6 more weeks. In the previous year, however, is when the infamous groundhog Punxsutawney Phil was born, and according to the Groundhog Club, Punxsutawney Phil has never died, which means if we are to believe them, that the current Phil is the same one that roamed Punxsutawney back in 1886. Is this true? Probably not, seeing how groundhogs only live 3 to 6 years. Well, this fool, according to the Groundhog Club, is almost 139 years old. No, you know what? I'm calling BS. There is no way in hell that Fat Weasel is 139 years old. The Groundhog Club better have a good explanation for this one. Let's see here. Oh, okay. It says here that every fall the Groundhog Club has a picnic where they give Punxsutawney Phil the elixir of life, which adds an extra 7 years to his life. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, as we already know, Phil has been predicting the weather since 1887, and according to the Stormfax Almanac, he is correct around 39% of the time, which means two things. One, he is not very good at his job, and two, I think we need to start putting our faith into a different groundhog. Maybe we should turn to one of his kids. I mean, in March of 2024, after 138 years of life, Punxsutawney Phil and his wife Phyllis had two kids, Sunny and Shadow. Wonder how they came up with those names. Actually, on second thought, why do we put our faith into what the weather is going to be like from a groundhog? Is it because it's a nice, harmless little tradition and the grand scheme of things doesn't really affect anything? Absolutely not. I'm not gonna trust any groundhog on whether or not the winter will last another 6 weeks. Sorry about that. It all got a little out of hand. In all seriousness, I think the real answer to our question is we should elect Staten Island Chuck, who has been correct 82% of the time as opposed to Phil's 39%, which Phil has been around almost 100 years longer than Chuck, so he has more room for error, but I think my point still stands. We won't have to wait long since Phil and Chuck have different predictions this year. Phil saw his shadow this year, so according to him, winter will last another 6 weeks. While Chuck, on the other hand, didn't see his shadow, so he predicts an early spring. So I guess all we can do now is sit back and wait and see which one ends up being right. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.